morning, faithful. I know you're not used to seeing me all up close and personal like this, right? Kind of, you know. But today, we're here to talk about the 49ers and the pregame show between the Niners and the ever so loved Rams. So, how y'all doing this morning? At this point, we're actually going to start with the injury report because we pretty much got no choice. What's good, Daniel Barry? We got Bebop. We got Daniel Barry. If I see Brian, I'm going to send him the link. Maybe he wants to pop in here and say something. You know what? That's actually a good idea either way. So at this point, folks, it's only week 3. It's not time to panic yet. But at the same time, we're injured. We're injured. We got Debo out. We got CMC out. Kittle's out. Charvarius Ward is more than likely going to play. He is. He's more than likely going to play. And at this point, it's like, what else can you do? Don't forget to hit the like button, folks, for me. I appreciate y'all. I know I'm going really early for all you West Coasters. I know it's really early for you. I apologize for that, but I'm not in the West Coast. I'm in the Midwest. And that's right, Bebop. Boo the Rams. I don't have many nice things to say about them, But at this point, let's talk about the injury report, shall we? So, Kittle, as we know, has been struggling with some injury that we didn't see him sustain this last game, right? It's kind of the same thing with It's the same thing with oh boy. It's the same thing with Debo. He injured his calf during the game. We never saw him even get worked on. And he played the rest of the game with it. And that's a football player's mentality, though, right? They want to be there for their team. They don't want to miss. They don't want to miss. And I love it. So, George Kittle is listed as doubtful. Debo Samuel is listed as out. This is as of 1 day ago. 18 hours ago, 19 hours ago, 3 hours ago. Let's see what happens with 3 hours ago, folks. And I'm not interested in your stuff. Okay. So Kittle has been ruled out officially. We're going to be missing him, Debo, CMC. Debo Samuel already has him. Nick Bosa is listed as questionable with a rib, but you know he's gonna go. You know he's gonna go, even if that rib's broken. He's gonna go. This is Nick Bosa we're talking about. Charvarius Ward is listed as questionable with a hamstring. So I'm kind of 50-50 on playing him because the Rams are also playing their young wide receivers. So why risk Charvarius Ward? Put out Bernardo Green, put out Rock Ya-Sin, Daryl Luter Jr., right? Get the younger guys some playing time and some experience. That way we don't have to rely on a mid-veteran like Logan Ryan in the Super Bowl to play the slot. Oh boy. But yeah, that's the truth. It's the truth, Bebop. It's just a rib. He's playing. If it's something like a hamstring or a soft tissue injury, then I could see him not playing. And Damien thinks Debo's our weak link. We need some burners on offense. And this is the truth. We do. And Kyle, he tried to find a burner in Danny Gray. That didn't work out. He's currently has Jacob Cowing on the roster, but these are young wide receivers, and Kyle has folks, I'm just gonna say it. He has trust issues, like big time trust issues. He does not trust the younger players. He'll play a mid-veteran over a younger player that is better than that veteran. We've seen it. We've seen it firsthand. We saw Oren Burks out there playing linebacker when we had like Jalen Graham and D. Winters just sitting there on the bench, who athletically wise, they're an upgrade over Oren Burks. D. Winters runs a 4.49 40, folks. And back to the injury report, speaking of D. Winters, he is available for this game. So I'm curious to see if he plays if he plays Sam, or if they put him in the Mike's. I don't think they're going to put him in the Mike spot, but I'm curious to see if he's actually one of the 3 starting linebackers. Because at this point, we have DFF out there, and all kinds of people are like, "Oh, he's a great special teamer." Okay, then why does our special teams coverage unit always suck? Comes a certain point in time where you just got to move on from a player. And Talanoa Hufanga is back for this game, folks. He's going to be starting. The Rams injury report. Puka Nacua is on IR. 3 of their starting offensive linemen got put on IR. One of them is questionable with an ankle injury. That's 4 out of, starting offensive linemen. But Cooper Kupp is out. The tight end I actually wanted to draft a couple years ago, Davis Allen, is out. It says back injury, so it kind of makes me glad we didn't actually get him. Bobby Brown III, questionable with an ankle injury. He was limited in practice. Their kicker has a groin injury, and that is 100% of them problem. And here's the starting offensive lineman that I said had an ankle. He actually has a foot. It's Kevin Dotson. He has a foot injury. He was limited participant in practice. And that's the end of the injury report. So a couple key things that you need to watch for here, folks. We got so some rumors are kind of going around here and there. They haven't like had enough traction for the big guys to actually freaking to actually report anything. But there are rumors about Matthew Stafford trade news, and the Rams just saying, "All right, well, we have some good young pieces. Let's trade away these guys, draft more guys, and add to it and build a team." And Matthew Stafford is 36 years old. He's not getting any younger. And there are teams like, say the Miami Dolphins that need a quarterback. You like it, folks? That's my coffee cup. It was made. See that? Got my name on it. It was made by Tony Colt. Shout out to the Colt family. They're great. Ty, my guy. What's up, buddy? Good morning. And, nah. 49ers red zone. Well, thanks. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for coming by. And there's just one thing we got to do, and that's beat LA. That's what we got to do, folks. We got to beat them today. We're missing 3 All-Pros right now on offense, just the offensive side. So I honestly believe our chances of beating them are great. I will not give a score prediction because I was of the belief that I was cursing things a few years ago. This is 2021. And this is exactly what we got to do, Ty Austin. Exactly what we got to do. Somehow, some way, just got to beat them. I don't care if it's a 1-point win or 40. We just got to beat them. Although the 40 would be a lot nicer. I'm not going to lie. But what are y'all doing for the game today, folks? I'm honestly thinking they're not going to televise it. They might here locally, but if the Broncos game is an afternoon game, it'll get televised in my area over the 49ers, which is very disappointing. You know, Broncos are not a good football team. They shouldn't be putting them on TV right now. So shout out to everyone that showed up, all you folks that are watching afterwards. I didn't plan on going long. This is just a quick run through the injury report and a pregame. We got Kyle Shanahan versus Sean McVay, which Shanahan does have the upper hand. Yes, Ty, that would be awesome. Oh boy. I was just thinking about you, Brian. I didn't know if you'd be available this morning. On Twitter? Okay. But yeah, we're gonna hold on me jumping off because we're gonna get Bryant Cup on here. We're gonna let him do what he does because he's my guy. So as a pick'ems, how you folks doing so far? I mean, you know, we saw the Thursday game. The Jets won. Yes. That was expected though, right? But I mean, like a game like the Ravens going to the Cowboys. Ravens are desperate, folks. They're desperate. They're 0-2. If you go 0-3, the chances of you making the playoffs drastically drop. And right now, the Cowboys, they did have a win. They beat the Browns at Cleveland. I don't know if there's actually, I don't know if beating the Browns actually means anything. I mean, they did have a good defense last year. I'm just double checking the link before I send it. Bam. All right, Bryant, the link's on DM'd you the link on X, buddy. And I'm getting text messages. Oh, it's Bryant. So while we're just probably need to just wait a minute or two for Bryant because once he clicks that link, it typically goes pretty quick. But you know, we do like last week. I went 7-9. I don't have many losing records when it comes to the pick'ems. It happens. Here's my guy right here, Bryant. Morning, buddy.
Good morning. Good morning.
I should have hit you up yesterday and asked you if you had time.
It's okay, David. You know, sometimes the bat signal is not seen, you know, that early, but when it's seen, you know, there's an appearance. Hey, so I heard a rumor.
Okay.
I heard a rumor, and I hope it's just a rumor. We're playing the Rams, and I heard that Jimmy G starting. Did you hear that?
I haven't heard that rumor, but that's actually something I was going to talk about. Like there were some hints, not necessarily outright rumors of Matthew Stafford trade news, right? If they're trading Matthew Stafford, folks, then he will not be starting this game. If that's the case, we will see James Richard Garoppolo coming up against us. And the question is, Bryant, do we really have anything to worry about? Because our defense used to play against him a lot, so that they know him very well.
I think it's funny that, you know, like Brock Purdy can beat Tom Brady. He can beat, you know, Aaron Rodgers. Just seems like it's really weird when we play up against old quarterbacks we used to have. And it's not just like Sam Darnold, you know, it's Kyle Shanahan, Kirk Cousins. So I believe he would be inside the defense's head. They're going to be so aggressive. They're going to want to pick him off. They're going to want to do all this to him, you know, and sometimes I would be interested to see how we would perform against him. Right now, we're not playing terrible, but everybody seems to be falling apart, and it's all these suspect injuries, like you were talking about just a few minutes ago. Like that guy really got hurt just then, really? And you have to go back later in the and watch the game again. You're like, that's where he got hurt, but then he played for so long. So I know the contracts was an issue, all the way to the deadline. And then we signed players like wide receivers, and they're not getting targeted in the game. And it's just, I don't think we're clicking the right way. A couple people have thrown it out. Maybe the play calling is not the same, or maybe the play calling is needs some help. I don't get it, David. CMC didn't do everything for us. He was a whole lot for us, but the Vikings game last year, I think we scored 17 points. This game we scored 17 points. So I don't think that's necessarily the issue. I think I really think there's a attitude issue, and we spoke about this a couple weeks ago on the Coast to Coast. I think it really boils down to how much people are getting paid, and I think it's now starting to affect the locker room. You can win together, or you can win by yourself, and a lot of people are thinking they're winning with just their pockets. For example, like Brock Purdy last year, he's not making a bunch of money, but he just got that Toyota endorsement. There's ways of people making money without it just directly coming from the NFL team. So I don't know. I mean, not everybody's gonna make it rich, and but I mean, not everybody also has to have that $1 million car either. But if you can get it, and they're gonna hand it to you, okay. But again, you got to start looking at everybody else that you're sitting at the table with, right? If you're the most paid and you're the one sitting in the best clothes, best shoes, best car, everything, and everybody else is eating top ramen and riding a bicycle, is that fair?
That's true. That's true. So Ty Austin says, fun fact: you've never seen Bryant and Batman at the same place at the same time.
On the same channel.
Oh boy, and that is true, Tommy. If you can't run the ball, James is terrible.
My new coffee cup featuring the legend, Mr. McKnight.
Oh, look at that! That's an awesome coffee cup, Bryant.
But it's got to go. Awesome. It's got to go. And then Tony made sure she got there it is, the Niner logo. So we will be rocking that this morning.
Hell yeah.
Cheers and rest in peace to many of our great friends. But as Corey Davis, the GOAT, he'll live on with us forever. And I know he would be excited about this game, David. One, it's the Rams. He always liked us beating the Rams. And same old, sorry, Rams. But if Jimmy Garoppolo does play, I think that throws a wrench in the whole game. I really do. Carson Wentz is still really good. We got to keep an eye on that. He knows.
I thought Carson Wentz is with the Chiefs this year, buddy.
Oh, you're right. I'm so sorry. But
Stetson Bennett is their number 3 QB, which we know nothing about. Right?
Oh, he's the one that Ted talks about. Stetson Bennett. They call him the drunk Purdy, I think. That to be able to.
Well, that's the thing is something I've noticed over the course of the Kyle Shanahan era is it's like if we have no tape or nothing on a quarterback, typically they do pretty well against us. Right?
Yeah. Those unknowns seem to beat us pretty good.
And at this point, it's like McVay. How much do you like Matthew Stafford? Like, you're missing 3 out of 5 of your offensive linemen. The one offensive lineman that could play injured actually has a foot injury, and he's going to be going up against Nick Bosa or Leonard Floyd. Gross Matos. He's going to be going up against those guys.
So playing? Because I heard he was injured too. Is Bosa playing?
He has a rib problem, but he is playing. So as long as it's not like a calf or a hamstring or a knee or something like that, he's going to play. So probably just have him remove that rib, and just carry on, right? You don't need that.
Here's a spare for you. So, yeah. Well, when you are injured, though, and everybody gets injured, but this is just it's a little too early, David. A little too early for us. We're supposed to be able to make a run at this, and we're getting injured. And again, when people know of your injuries, they're going to be taking jabs at his ribs. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, that's the thing is, they'll try, but he's going to be too busy pushing him back. And if they're trying to jab his ribs, he's just going to throw him out of the way. So that they're not going to get a chance to hold him if they're trying for his rib. Oh, that's been a constant problem since he started in the league. Good morning, Jess. Nice to see you. Hey, speaking of who's going to the game, Jess, Ty, I know you guys sometimes make it out there, so let me know if you're going to the game. But Hufanga is back, baby. He's back. What do you think of this, Brian? I 100% expect our tackling overall to get better because Hufanga, it's like a guy misses a tackle, but then there's Hufanga, boom. So, the missed tackle doesn't really hurt us. But it's more like they just slowed him down so Hufanga can finish him off. This is what was going on when Hufanga was playing. Then Hufanga goes out. Then all of a sudden we started seeing the tackling problem with our team. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about it? You think it's going to be great having Huff back or what?
Well, at first he's going to have to get, acclimated to the game again. He's going to have to get his feet underneath him. And he hopefully isn't going to be timid when he gets out there because you don't want to get out there and then re-injure yourself and then be sitting out again. But you're correct. When he was out there, it seemed like he was Mr. Cleanup. And if somebody else couldn't tackle somebody, he ended up getting them down. I think Fred Warner's going to be relieved to have him back. But I'd like to see them start him slow and see how he amps up to the game. If he can ramp up and he can take off like he was, then great. But right now he still has the best hair on the team. That's all that really matters.
Yeah, he does have the best hair on the team. Ayuk went and got a haircut. Maybe he's trying to add to his 40 time by dropping some weight or something, right? It's like, who knows?
Hey, if anybody has any extra news and they want to put it in the comments, I had heard that the Niners tailgating situation is going to be dramatically changing. They are now going to make it where you have to, I think, have assigned parking, and that kind of throw a wrench in a lot of Old Faithful tailgaters that's been going for a long time because you've been there, David. You see how people set up, and they'll take several parking spots and set them up, and it's quite an event. So when you're winning, everything's great. When you're losing and you still see these people coming to the games and stuff like that, you got to take care of them. You got to support them. Again, ticket prices get so high, food and everything. And for them to, I believe they've cut down the amount of time that you can actually be there in the parking lot, tailgating. So what the overall reaction is and thoughts is we want you to spend more money in the game. And that is explainable, but over a period of time, people will pull back and they will say, hey, is it cheaper for me just to stay home? These guys aren't winning. These guys aren't doing this or that. It's getting, more and more rules. Sometimes rules are good, but sometimes rules, are unnecessary at points. So you know me, I'm not a person for big change. And when this happens, if it's in effect, it's not going to be fun. I do recommend going to the Red Zone Rally over there by Great America. They have a great game day, tailgate. It's all you can eat, all you can drink. The prices go up depending on the team we play, just like how ticket prices are if you're playing in a really high coveted team, our prices for the tickets are a little bit more expensive. You'd think it'd be like every game, this price is the price, but it's not. But yeah, if anybody knows anything a little bit about the new tailgate rules, throw them in the chat. But David, I definitely am excited. It's the Rams week.
It is. It's the Rams week. Yep. And we're going to LA, and we're going to be the majority in that stadium. So it's just like another home game, right?
Yeah.
And I honestly do think they have a nicer stadium than ours. I've been to Santa Clara. It's not bad. It doesn't have all the amenities and all the really cool stuff that some of these new stadiums have. That's kind of basic compared to the other teams' new stadiums, though, right?
Well, that's kind of like, it's like you see somebody build something, right? And you're like, oh, we're going to build something too now. And then we're going to build it. And now we have the advantage to see what you already did, and we're going to add to it, or we're going to, make changes here and there. With Santa Clara, 49ers Stadium right there, it was originally supposed to be in San Francisco. So if that location was in San Francisco, we'd be talking about Levi's in the shape of it in a whole different light, a whole different aspect, because of the mountains, everything right there, right? But it got put where it got put. And because it got put where it got put, and there's an airport really close to it, the covering, the sunlight, you cook up there a little bit. But that's why it's nice that the Niners get a lot of home games at night. And, some of the home games that we do get are later on in the year. Because if you notice, a lot of years we are on the road to begin the season. And that is because Santa Clara gets really hot. And I think the Niners organization did go to the league and ask, hey, can you help our fans out? Because you notice this red side, that's not the chairs, that's their faces. They're cooking out there. So the Niners have given away free water and stuff during games and stuff like that to their fans, and it's nice to see that. But a covering, some kind of top would be nice for our stadium. But yeah, the Rams have a newer stadium. You look at the Raiders stadium, that one looks crazy. They call it the Death Star, and it looks like a Death Star, right?
I've seen it. I've seen it taken off. Remember when I was coming out for the Jazz or our Giants, the home opener last year. I seen it taken off from the airport. I was looking down at it like, that's a new stadium. I mean, it might be the sand or the dirt in Vegas, folks, but that thing looked like it was 40 years old already.
Yeah. This is, and Ty's right. The stadium should have been modified, but it costs money to get those blueprints modified, and then you have to go through all these other extra. And when you have blueprints, and you can say, "Oh, we just changed the locations," it's a little bit quicker to get things signed and everything taken care of. So we'll see. I still am holding on. One day they'll go back to San Francisco, but for right now we have. I like Levi's. Been there a couple times for games and for just other events, and it's really nice. I'm glad to call that the 49ers home. So David, I also wanted to we got number 44, and that reminded me. Bebop dropped it in there. Did you realize what happened to Juice this year? Has anybody realized what happened to Juice this year besides his wife making awesome clothes and getting more and more famous? If anybody knows, before
I know he took a pay cut, but what else happened?
Oh my gosh. Where's Gavin? The notorious GIV, Gavin, right?
He's captain? He's the captain? Where is Gavin? I might just if he was here, I'd have sent him the link so he could go off on it for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching the game the other day, and I seen he had a C on his chest. I was like, holy smokes, he's a captain. Let's go. I mean, that is Mr. 49er right there. Juice and Robbie Gold for the longest time right there were like our veteran kind of guys that, maybe molded the team, helped the chemistry of the team, like the cultural, but we don't have Robbie anymore, but we still got Juice. Now it's nice to see Juice with that C, so vitamin C, right? Drink some juice.
Yeah. Well, they're actually using him, and it might be just the missing piece of CMC because, he makes the check down and do a viable play, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're actually utilizing Juice this year, which is something we haven't done in years past. So it's nice to see. I hope he keeps doing that moving forward. You know, I also hope that Brock Purdy starts seeing the check down, because there were during the Vikings game there. I watched the L-22. There were a few times where Jordan Mason's just standing there, no one around. You throw him the ball, he's going to get 6 to 8 yards on that play. So it's like, I know CMC's not there, Brock, but you have another guy. You have to utilize him. You know?
Yeah, I mean, in the Super Bowl, it was Jennings and Juice. Those are like the two people that we were able to get going in the Super Bowl. Everybody else, Mr. Debo, where you at? Mr. Ayuk, where you at? CMC, we know he tried too, but sometimes we just can't have you fumble, and that's what it comes down to. Good players sometimes make mistakes, and even Jerry Rice, he made a mistake, and Roger Craig made a mistake, but it's those mistakes that if you can't overcome, it can cost you the game, and that's where we're at. So, David, it looks like Trent Williams, Fred Warner, George Kittle, Debo, Brock Purdy, Nick Bosa, Christian McCaffrey, and Juice are our captains for 2024. So once again, we have Mr. Williams, Mr. Warner, Mr. Kittle, Mr. Samuel, Mr. Purdy, Mr. Bosa, Mr. McCaffrey, and Mr. Juszczyk. So I'm liking it. That's three? I think we have 6 captains this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we got more than that, I think. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 captains this year? Wow. 8 captains this year. I don't know how many captains you can really have. I mean,
hey, I've worked at a place where there's too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. But there are 53 players on the team, so I'd imagine 8 captains ain't bad.
No, and some of those guys, you can take the C off their chest. It's still right there. So it doesn't really, doesn't hurt to have an extra. So, David, what's your final thoughts on the Rams? Do you think we play better in a dome? Do you think we play better on grass? Does it matter? And since it's our second home, should that really affect us at all?
Well, I don't think it matters where we play. The surface we play on, NFL, it should be a quality surface. This is a multi-trillion-dollar industry at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these guys should have nothing but the best available for these players. And places like MetLife, it hasn't been. But, we're in a dome. We're at our second home. And I fully expect us to play a decent football game, especially after last week's debacle. That was like all 3 phases failed us. It was tough to see, And why is this guy talking about Herbert?
Oh, probably fantasy football.
Oh,
yeah. I got
you got Herbert as your fantasy QB?
No, I got Sunshine. I'm like Steve-O. I got Trevor Lawrence. I got Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy, and Aaron Rodgers. And then on another team, because I have 3 on one team, and then on another team I have Brock Purdy and Lamar Jackson. So probably should have started Rodgers the other night. He got like 60, almost 70 fantasy points. So sometimes everybody has their own strategy. For me, like sometimes I like to have a couple extra quarterbacks because they get hurt later on in the season, and I really like that quarterback, and I don't want somebody to take him. You just have to have good luck, And so my philosophy is you look at the quarterbacks and you look who's good, and then you look to see who has the best hair and the worst hair, and then you compare their stats. So I went with Trevor Lawrence.
Oh wow.
Hair stats.
Yeah, right? I don't know if I mean, would you start him in Buffalo? Steve-O is. I don't know. I don't know much about Buffalo's secondary though. It could be a game where he's tossing the ball around. I know their run defense is good, so they probably will be tossing the ball around a lot.
Buffalo started clicking. They started clicking. They're going to be good this year. Last year they weren't so good, but this year they're going to be better, way better. What happened to Tua? Tua gone now? Did he retire?
They put him on injured reserve. So the concussion issue continues with the guy, and I mean for the longevity of his life, he would be wise to just take the money he's earned and retire. You know, that's my opinion on the situation. You know, Miami built the win right now. Oh, what are they going to do? Trade for Matthew Stafford or, you know, some quarterback with an expiring contract a team doesn't want? Trade for a veteran? You know,
well, that's an interesting point. And we got Herbert in the comments, and we have you know, me and you've been talking about Stafford. And honestly, David, I wouldn't trade for either one of them. Both of them look like they have serious arm issues. They're a quarterback. Yeah. They're a quarterback. They both have had, like, Herbert's coming off of it from like last year, right? And what are the Chargers doing right now? They're running the ball. And then you got the Rams, and the Rams, you know, sure, he can throw short passes and stuff like that. And I'm sure he's even said it. He can rip it still, but he can't rip it like he used to. So he's not Matthew Stafford like he was in Detroit. He got his Super Bowl ring because they had a super team really, you know, and they got super lucky against us. That's really what it boiled down to.
And this is also too true. This is also true. Stafford does get injured every year. I've heard this too, Steve-O. He's talking about Bryce Young in Carolina.
Yeah, his career's over.
I've heard that same rumor too. And I mean, that's something the NFL does is, oh, we're picking early. We're going to take us a QB that's going to be the future. And then that quarterback is put on a horrible team. How are they expected to develop and play and become an NFL quarterback if you're not putting the pieces around them that they need? You know, Brock Purdy entered a perfect situation for a young quarterback, a team that was already had all kinds of pieces around him and it was ready to go.
David, not everybody thinks like you or me, and I know we don't think exactly the same. But when I'm building a football team, right? You know, I've done it multiple times. You know, you can see my resume and everything, right? I draft a kicker. Why? Because you get a kicker who can put up points, right? And then you don't have to worry about anything. You get a kicker who can kick from like half the field. So if your defense gets you at least to the middle of the field, you can score points, right? You can win a football game with 3 points. Bam, right? You got a kicker. Then, you know, you get that line, because if you get a line, then that kicker doesn't have to get killed because, you know, he can kick the ball with ease, right? You don't have to have the best line, but you have to put some money into the line. You know, you have to put some draft capital into the line. Sooner or later, you do need to get a quarterback. So either you lose a couple of good seasons and then you draft a really high quarterback, or you get a, you know, comfortable quarterback. And like, we got really lucky with Brock Purdy. We got really lucky with him. And maybe it's his, I don't know why he went so low. If you go and you look at his college, you know, tape, he was throwing like he's running, he's diving, he's throwing the football, you know, he's almost on the ground, but his body's like that high off the ground and he's still making plays. Like this dude's like acting like a superstar. I kind of like would like to refer, if anybody's seen how he was playing, I would say maybe Johnny Manziel-esque, like a little bit, you know, where he was, you know, running around in the backfield, making something happen. Not crazy like, but he was extending plays. And now we're at a point, it's like, so do you have to spend your number 1 draft pick on a quarterback? And then if you do spend it on something other than a quarterback, it better pan out, right? Because like with us, who do we spend our number 1 pick on this year? And everybody's saying he wasn't worth a number 1. He was a second or a third. And he's not, is our number 1 going to even play this year?
He's a rookie, so the chances of him playing are very low to start with. I honestly feel like we don't value offensive linemen high enough, and that should have been, if they didn't like an offensive lineman right there, trade back a little bit. It's like, but then the offensive lineman they went and spent a lot of time on gets drafted to the Ravens, that Rosengarten guy. And it's like, okay, if you really wanted him, you would have traded up above the team that needed offensive tackles and drafted him. It's just one of those things. We don't value offensive linemen like they should, but protecting our QB is very important, right?
I know you can't have the. Sorry, I know you can't have the.
I was going to say good morning, Lawrence. He's saying what's up to us. Let's see James today. That's kind of.
That was our topic earlier. That's the rumor we heard. He's playing.
And we got Jim Everniner, the faithful. He's in the chat here. What's good, buddy?
So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, David, we're gonna go play the Rams, and we have a great chance to play the Rams, right? Win or lose, win or lose, we're gonna win. We have a great chance to win. We gotta stay healthy, but we don't have to kill ourselves either out there, because this is a team we play twice a year. So we kind of have a little bit of maybe an advantage over a team that we don't play every year, or maybe every seldomly, kind of like the Vikings. We don't play the Vikings every year. So, that's kind of like all right, we lost, not that big of a deal, but to lose to the Rams and to maybe lose to them again twice in a season, that's not something that we're comfortable with. But again, you said it, you got Huff coming back. We got a decent offensive line. So most of them are healthy. And that's my point. We were talking about offensive lines. I had to get restarted. So the offensive line can't be the same for every team. And I think with our team, because we do so much run blocking, they want to have smaller guys. And now we have a smaller quarterback too. So they say that they want to have smaller guys that aren't so tall. And I don't necessarily think that really hurts us sometimes. But sometimes I think it really does, especially when you're going against a defense and these guys are like all 6'7", and our guys aren't, nearly that tall. When we got a bunch of 6-foot guys, because our quarterback's only that height, maybe there is something to be said about maybe getting some bigger guys. But the bigger guys that we have to fit our scheme. They have to be able to run block and stuff. And for example, you have somebody like McGlinchey, right? He was one of the taller guys, but he didn't pan out for us. He was good at run blocking, but when we needed him to pass, block. So I don't know, David. It's good to be back talking football with you. I hope the Niners get this W today. But like Lawrence said, and I said earlier, if we see Jimmy G, I don't know if I'm gonna be calm at all during the game. I think I'm gonna be on edge, because there's something about our old players. They I don't know, they know our team. So
here's Sponge. What's up, Sponge? What's good, Papa J? Good morning. Thanks for pulling up. But yeah, you working today, Brian? I know you work a lot. This is why you haven't seen him, folks, just so you know.
No, I'm lucky to have the day off. I got that cup of coffee and seen you live, and I was like, wow, I might be able to talk to David today and get some football in. I'm looking forward to it. Don't get to watch football all the time anymore. The schedule's a little crazy. It's a lot of hours and a lot of driving, and I'm really enjoying it. But just want everybody to know, I'm still around, and it's good to be back. But I can't be around all the time. My schedule is up in the air. But one thing is me here or there, the Niners are still around. And it's something that a lot of people, that's been able to come together and have a lot of fun and camaraderie with, and just you can be somebody's friend and not see them, and you can be somebody's friend and see them all the time. And it's kind of like the 49ers. I might not be able to see them all the time, but I'm still friends, right? We're still family. We still see each other and get to say hi. When I do get to see the Niners, it's nice. I'm trying to listen to all the news that I can possibly listen to, but it's good to be able to talk to you as well, David. And I've been able to hear some of the injury updates and some of the news from you as well. So that's really good. But yeah, it's always go Niners, and we'll hopefully be able to get this done today and get back on track. Don't want to start falling behind. I don't want that Super Bowl curse to or hangover, to be real. And the Madden Voodoo cover. I don't know if I'd be comfortable being a football player out there and being on a video game to begin with, but then there to be a curse to come with it. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want that.
Yep. Hey, Jess, this is what we're hoping for, though. Even though we're missing 3 All-Pros, I think the Rams are missing a lot more than we are. So we'll see what happens,
I think you're right. I think they're hurt just like us. I don't know the full details of how hurt, but if Stafford's playing, I'm not necessarily scared of him. Except Jimmy G. That's who I don't want to see.
Oh man. Uh-oh. All right, buddy. Oh, who's this? Thanks for coming to town. I have no idea who this is. First time on the podcast. Levi's South. I call it Levi's Inglewood, but because I kind of look at Cowboy Stadium like that could be Levi's South. All right, Bryant. Well, let's get on out of here, folks. Pre-games are starting. It's 10:20 where I'm at, 9:20 where you're at, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the pre-games are starting. What Bebop actually asked, are you interested in watching any of the early games? Like what? Or
I'm actually going to probably run to the grocery store, go get my hair cut, my ears lowered a little bit, and then try to get back before the game starts. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in the games. I'll probably check the scores. The Niner game is the only game that really matters right now at this point. It really is. At the end of the year, Niners will be in the Super Bowl. That's what I believe. Hopefully, playing the Jets, being able to put Aaron Rodgers into retirement. That's my record. That's my prediction. I went.
I like it though. I like it.
I went with
the 2 games, the 2 early games I'll probably try to be watching is the Texans at the Vikings. Because are the Vikings for real? That's, and then the same thing going on with the Eagles at the Saints. Are the Saints for real? It's like it's still Saints too early in the season to tell. Right?
Saints were pretty good. They put that 40 points up against last week.
The Cowboys at their stadium, like. Yeah,
that's woo. That's a good game. And if Sam Darnold can beat the Strouts, because I don't think they call them the Texans anymore. I think they call them the Strouts. Yeah. Wow.
I think Sam can beat him. I think he can.
Sam's
in a new area though, folks. So everyone remember that.
The Purple People Eaters. There you go.
All right. So thanks for coming, everyone. I appreciate all y'all. Thanks, Bryant, for joining me, buddy. It's good to see you. You're working so much. That's kind of a rare occasion, right?
That's right.
So, hey, and as Corey Davis always says, go 49ers and F all